right? So your black tank flush, it's just your basic garden hose.
Okay.
When you go to the Sandy dump, whether it's the campground, I think Canadian Tire's got them here. When you dump your holding tanks, you'll hook up the garden hose or the water hose afterwards and just let it run. What it does, it just keeps the tank a little bit cleaner so you don't get those odors coming back up in the tank. Yeah, because that is coming from your toilet.
Okay.
Right? So unlike the house where you hit the flush and it's gone, it's out of your hair, now you've got to deal with it at the end of your camping trip or the weekend. So beside that is your power connection. Can't remember what side you left the power cord on. Okay. So your power cord, all you're gonna do is take the end. There is one that's got a little slot on it. It matches up, right? See, it goes on, twists a little bit, and then there's a little ring that you just tighten up so the power cord doesn't fall out and it keeps water out if you guys end up getting rain.
You asking how many kuryente? 220, 120?
Voltage?
Yeah, voltage. You asking, right?
So this one's only at 120, 110, but it's a 30 amp plug. So that's where you need that little adapter at the house because it's basically the same as a dryer plug almost. And you're not going to run a cord all the way into the house and unplug something in the house, right? So we'll get you the adapter and everything after. And then, yeah, you just plug it into either the house itself or a short extension cord. This is your city water. So what I was saying about depending on your campgrounds, like if you go to a private campground, most of the time they've got sewer and water and power. So this is where you're going to hook up a garden hose with a regulator. You're just going to turn on the tap on their post, and it's the same as your house, right? It'll just, the pump will or the water will just run every time you turn on the taps. Only at full service. There is a fill on the other side I'll show you for the water tank.
You understand that?
Yeah.
It's like an outdoor connection on your home.
Yeah.
Connects in there,
Yeah.
turn the tap on from where your main source is and it fills up.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, it just runs pressure. There's no
Runs
fill.
pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, runs pressure. Okay?
Yeah. So that's it.
Not holding water in, just running.
Yeah, that's just it. When you turn on the tap,
Yeah.
there's water. You turn off the tap, it stops.
Okay.
There's no holding tank. Down here is your holding tanks though. So the handles are marked. So gray water is your kitchen sink and your shower. So it's your clean option. The back one is black, which is your toilet. So when you guys are done camping for the weekend and you get to the dump station, you'll pull the back one, the black one first, let it do its thing. Once it's done draining, then you pull your gray one. So that way you're kind of keeping your sewer hose clean as well, right? You're using your dishwater, shower water to flush everything out, and then the hose stays a little bit cleaner. There is a cap. Make sure it's on when you guys are going down the road, just in case.
There's a dump station that we dump all of those.
Yeah, so, and it varies where you are, right?
Oh,
So if you guys go to provincial campsites, normally it's as you're coming in or going out, they'll have a dump station in the provincial campgrounds. If you go camping in the middle of nowhere, you go to somebody's field for a weekend, then you'll have to come back in and go to a dump station in the city, whether it's St. Albert, Edmonton, Spruce Grove, wherever, right? They all have one somewhere, and then that's where you'll dump that out.
oh,
You'll have to locate that.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Because we don't know where
No.
is it.
No, and it's so hard because it changes all the time, right?
Okay.
Like, I know Fort Saskatchewan's got one, but it's at their recycling station, of all places, right? Like, not where you'd think. All four corners, you have a stabilizer jack. So once you get to your campsite, wherever you're going, try to get the trailer as level as you can. Carry some blocks of wood. If you have to put it under the trailer because the trailer's sitting like this, put it under, get that trailer close to level. Once it's leveled, there's a crank inside, and all you're gonna do is run that down. Put very little pressure on it. You can't lift the trailer with these. They're not designed for it. They'll break, bend, and just cause a whole bunch of damage.
There you go.
Fair? If you
Okay,
really
boy.
want to watch TV,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. You're camping. Enjoy nature. But there is a connection. If the campground still has cable, you can put a connection on there. There is no TV in the unit, so you'd have to take your own. But that,
Has the possibility of letting you have cable if you, okay?
if you really want. Um,
How about these two? These two,
those are just water low point drains.
just leave it like that?
Yeah, just leave those. So that would be in case of an emergency. If you guys go out to BC or something and you're coming back and it's late in the season and it just happens to get really, really cold, if you can't get it into the shop to get the trailer winterized, you can open those.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's there to try to help from freezing the water system, but most of the time it doesn't do any good.
Okay.
So it's always plan ahead, right? Okay, we're going camping September long weekend. Have an appointment booked for the week after to get it in, get it winterized before you put it away for storage for the winter.
Okay.
That's the safest thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously spare tire. There is no tools for changing the tires, so
You
make sure
provide.
you keep a wrench and a jack in the truck, in the box, wherever, just in case anything happens. On all of our trailers, there is a backup camera option.
Oh, good.
So it is a nice feature if you're still getting used to where the trailer sits and you don't want to yell at each other when you're trying to park it and you got to back in. You've got that so you can see if you're going to back into anything. It's a little expensive,
Yeah.
but it is an option. Outside shower. So kids, pets, if you're at the beach somewhere and you got sand all over your feet, you can
Oh,
open this
there's-
up. It's hot and cold water, so you can rinse off your feet so you don't track sand and dirt and everything else
Go
through the trailer.
inside, yeah. That's good.
Super, super easy on that one.
Barbecue. That's a barbecue grill or just...
So it's just a griddle.
Oh, it's the-
It's just a flat top
oh,
grill.
okay.
So you don't have to cook inside, but you can cook out here.
Okay.
It has a gas connection. I don't know why the cap's not on. So if you're going to use this when you get to your site, why did Payne do that? I don't know. Your connection is down here.
Okay.
So it's just like an airline. All
Yeah,
you're going to do
airline
is
hose.
clip it in, and then there's a little lever on top that you're going to open.
Okay.
And that'll take propane right from your propane tank and allow you to use the outside stove.
Okay.
Ugh.
Same thing if you're using it, make sure you turn it off after you're finished using it.
Okay.
Well, those ones you can't disconnect if you don't.
Is there not an out there you just said?
No, so those ones you can leave on. It's the same as your interior
Okay.
internal appliances. Yeah. 110 outlet. So if you guys want to put a little table outside and have a little
Yeah.
radio or whatever the case might be, or patio lights or anything like that, it gives you an outside connection. This is your water fill. So this is for your holding tank.
Oh, okay.
So this is the one, if you're going somewhere and you don't have all the hookups, you're just going to stick the garden hose in there, let it do its thing. There's a little hole on this side, so don't stand in front of it. When the tank's full, it'll start spitting water back out at you. Depending on how high you have the garden hose, it'll shoot 5 feet. So if you're standing there going, okay, is it full? You're going to get soaked when it is.
But now have water in?
No, there's no
There's
water
no
in it
water.
right now. The system's ready to go, but we send it without water because I don't
Okay.
know where you're going. So to save money on
Yeah.
fuel, we leave them empty.
Put a little bit.
So this is your furnace exhaust. It is going to get hot.
Oh, okay.
So little fingers,
Cannot, don't
keep
touch.
keep
Yeah.
everybody away.
Yeah.
The water, it's hard to see. That little cap that's in the water heater,
Okay.
that's where that cap goes. So that's the drain for your holding tank.
Okay.
Right, so if you do go out to Jasper or something, you got half a tank of water. There's a monitor panel. I'll show you. It tells you how much water and everything's in the system.
Okay.
As you're doing everything else, you're packing up your chairs, your table, lifting the jacks up, open that up, let it drain out when you're done the weekend.
Okay.
With the water tanks, you never want to travel with them partially full.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
either completely full or completely empty. Otherwise, you have that weight back and
Oh,
forth
okay.
sloshing around, and
Yeah.
it just makes towing absolutely horrendous. Range vent. So if somebody burns dinner inside,
They're
same
gonna-
as the house, it's you turn on the fan, it sucks the smoke and the smell out and throws it outside. And that's where that discharges.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Outside of that, your steps are just an easy fold up. Ready to go. They do have to be pulled straight. If you try pulling one side and not the other, they just jam up. screen door and a slider. My fingers aren't working today. So,
Good.
off you go. You don't have to open this little panel. You can just flip the lever. Outside of that, on the doors, so the other side door, this little red lever, if you're in overnight, it is a deadbolt. So you can deadbolt the door, make sure nobody gets in. There. All right.
Hindi daw.
Doon sa amin na yung ano.
No, diyan ka
Pero
maglalagay
dito
ng
akong refill.
tubig. Yeah, magre-refill.
So, same as your house, you have smoke detectors. Because of there being propane in the system, there is a propane detector. I can't remember. There it is.
Oh,
So,
okay.
if it starts beeping, it's very, very loud. Go outside, turn the propane off, open the doors, open the windows. Somebody's either bumped the stove and it's just leaking propane in there. And that's just an alarm to tell you. Outside of that, you've got your basic 2-burner stove. There is no
Yeah.
igniter needed. Propane's turned off, but if you hold it in, it's got an electric spark to it. Super simple. And it lights up. So, the nice part about this, oh, this one doesn't do it. The other ones, the new ones, they actually light up. The ring goes red when you turn them on.
Oh.
So, this is your monitor panel. So, this is your lights inside and outside.
Okay.
This is the only light that's on that switch. So all the rest of the lights have a little button in the middle to turn them on and off,
Okay.
Okay.
right? They're all LED, so they're pretty good power-wise. But this is your water pump. So when you're when you're camping and you have to use that water tank, that's what you're going to turn on. When you're using the sink, the shower, the toilet, you have to turn the pump on if you don't have the connection. But when you're done, turn the pump off. That way, if anything happens, one of the connections happens to break or fail, it doesn't take all that water and leak all into the trailer. Because that will definitely ruin your weekend of camping, right? Beside that is your water heater switch. So,
Oh, we have water heater. Okay.
yeah, so that was that black tank on this side. It is only gas. So you turn it on and it runs the same as your house, right? As soon as it gets up to temperature, it shuts off. As soon as you start using it and it needs to make more, it'll automatically ignite. You'll hear it click. It'll do that a couple times right now because the propane's turned off. And then at the end of your weekend, just make sure the switch is off as well. And then up here, these buttons. So there's little LED lights. So this is for the battery.
Okay.
It'll tell you empty, 2/3 full kind of thing, along with your holding tank. So your freshwater holding tank for doing dishes, going to the bathroom. I believe it's gray. No, black. So black is how much you've used the toilet. And then the gray one is how much you've got from doing dishes and taking showers.
Okay.
So if you go for an extended period of time, like if you go for a week, you'll have to take more care with those 2 tanks just because they will fill up, and once they're full, it's got nowhere to go, right? So if you have to wrap everything up, go drive to the front of the park if you're at a provincial campsite, drain your tanks, and then come back to your site, it sucks, but you don't want to have that overflow. Okay, everything's off. This switch is for your power awning lights. Can you just swing the door in to like 90 degrees for me, Dougie? So, this door, oh no. You can basically have the door right about there, so you guys can see that angle. Because it is a power awning, all you gotta do is push the button out.
That's good.
Yeah. So it is really nice.
Yeah.
It's super, super easy. Now, the only thing with the awning, because it is power and it's not secure, it's not super rigid, if the wind picks up, make sure you close it.
It's gonna break.
Yeah, the wind will rip the arms apart, and they're not cheap by any means. So, aside from that, up here, you just have the Bluetooth radio. It does come off. So it charges off a 12 volt on here. But if you're outside sitting around the fire and you want music, you can pull it off, hook your phone up to it, and off you go. Where is it?
May hook up pala dyan ng TV.
What is
For the
this is a
TV.
Yeah, so that's a 110. So
110.
yeah, if you've got full
You have a
power
TV,
plug-in?
you gotta plug in here.
Yeah, so there's a couple plugins in this one. They're kind of sporadic, but there's one there. There's somewhere. There's one right
All
here.
110.
And then I believe there's one in the bathroom. And then obviously that one that I showed you outside.
This how many pound hold?
I think 200? 175 or 200?
Because I'm worried about him to fall with me.
Oh, no, he should be fine. Yeah. No. So the way these are designed though, this front one has to come down. Actually. Perfect. No, it's okay. So this is the crank for your jacks.
Yes.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's just the old,
Okay.
Yeah.
like the old style drill.
I can use the drill for that.
You can. It's a 3/4 inch
Okay.
socket.
Okay.
Yeah. So your master bed, if you don't want to climb up, these get pulled off. They can be thrown in the corner in the bathroom, wherever. And then all you do is grab the strap, fold this over, and there's your mattress.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because we have baby. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, because this is not secured anywhere in the trailer, if you take off really fast when you're driving to go to a campsite, this whole bed might be pressed up against here by the time you get there. No, not the end of the world. As far as the bunks go, if you're using both, this one always has to come down first.
Okay.
So the mattress does get in the way a little bit, but this metal tab or bracket,
It's attached.
this one folds down and sits on there. So that's what helps give everything its strength so that it doesn't fall apart.
So yun pala din yung uda naman maliit yung kakanampan.
Yeah.
And it is nice because on this one, you do have the upper window too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Just in case anybody's claustrophobic. The nice part about this bunk
You
is
have
there.
really
Plug.
plug.
Yeah, so it's a USB plug. So it is 12 volt. So if you got to charge your phone or whatever, you can just plug your cable into that. Those USB plugs work all the time. As long as there's battery power, you can charge your phone. So you don't have to be plugged into a campsite. So it's one of those peace of mind that, okay, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
We can plug our phone in and still charge it.
Okay.
You guys will see the tie down points.
What's this?
So because of this door, a lot of people will put like Rubbermaid storage bins with all their stuff because it is a smaller trailer and there's no storage.
Oh,
This
there's
is
a storage.
Yeah, so with the minimized storage, you can go to Walmart, buy the totes, put your bedding, all your outside camping gear in them, and instead of having them sliding around as you're traveling, you can put a strap across and keep them in place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
so that is a nice little feature in the smaller trailers. Below the stove, this is your furnace. So it is, all the heat comes out right here. Being so small, it basically hits this cabinet and it goes throughout the trailer. The only thing I would suggest is if you're camping and it's cooler like right now, I know I personally don't like to sit on a cold toilet seat. So once you're set up,
Okay.
just leave the bathroom door open. That way some of that heat gets into the bathroom as well.
More
Right.
comfortable.
Yeah, a little more comfortable. This is your thermostat. So this is for the furnace. It's old style, but the same as your house. So it's gonna try to run. You just move the little dial to wherever you're comfortable. It'll tell you 60, 70, 80 degrees, right? So outside of that, storage, nothing dramatic. The rest of your storage, these ones are kind of nice. They have a little bit more space in them. So dishes, pantry if need be, and then your fridge. This has that door.
There's ways.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day.
Yeah.
So, I think these are 6 cubic foot. So they're decent size. The freezer's definitely a good size for everything, especially if you're only going for a weekend. Just be careful with these fridges. There is actually a handle on both sides. This one won't
Oh,
open.
both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It is, in this application, it doesn't work because of the bathroom
Yeah.
door. But if you're cleaning it or you're like walking
Yeah.
by and somebody happens to grab this side, where is it? And then they grab this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
you can pull the doors right off of this very simply. So, always try to just grab.
I have
the
a question. Even though we are running, it's work.
No, so I'll show you. So this is only on 12 volt. Up inside, there's a little button on the right hand side.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you push and hold, and eventually, come on. No. So the light turns on. Now the fridge is on. If you need it to get colder, all you do is push that button. The little bar right here is your setting. So normally you'll have it at setting 3, which is that happy balance. Because it is only battery operated. Once it gets cold, so because it's Wednesday today.
Yeah.
You guys are probably leaving Friday for the weekend to go camping. So when you get it home tonight or tomorrow morning some point, come out and turn your fridge on. Give it some time to get cold. Unlike your house fridge, these will actually use the heat from your food to cool the fridge down. But if you turn it on a few days in advance, throw condiments in, anything that's not going to go bad.
Okay.
And then by the time you're ready to leave Friday afternoon,
it's already cold.
yeah, you've gone grocery shopping, you can come in, put everything in the fridge, close
Yeah.
the fridge, and off you go. You don't have to turn this one off when you're traveling, because it is only running on battery power.
Okay.
So the truck will recharge the battery as you're going down the road a little bit. So it's nice that way. You can do an 8-hour drive and you don't have to worry about the fridge of, oh, okay, is it getting warm? Anything like that. Down here, so this is the breaker panel and your fuse block. I don't like this. So same as your house, your normal breakers, if anything happens, you'll just
Okay.
flip the breakers back over. These fuses run basically everything else in the trailer. So all the lights, the fridge, the furnace, the water heater, all the rest of that. It's not a bad idea to have a little package of these.
You need the extra,
In,
right?
yeah, throw them
Yeah,
in the
whatever.
drawer, whatever.
Yeah.
Just in case anything happens.
Oh,
That way,
you have your
you're not trying to
extra,
camp
yeah.
all weekend without the lights
Yeah.
or whatever the
Extra
case is.
one.
You need to buy
Yes, yeah.
extra in case.
Yeah.
I have a lot of views there.
Yeah. Outside of that, we'll get very friendly because your bathroom is not big. So there is the 2 lights. They are just push button. There's no light switch in here.
Oh, I buy curtain. I don't need it.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's got a built-in shield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it is only shower, obviously. Hot and cold taps. Your toilet, to flush it, is just step on the foot.
Okay.
Once you use the trailer, when you shut it down, there's going to be about an inch of water, roughly. Let that stay in the toilet. It just creates a barrier so the smell doesn't
Yeah,
come out of the
that-
tank and
yeah.
into the trailer itself. Outside of that, you've got a plug for shaving, hot and cold sink, and then your little medicine cabinet.
Cool.
In the shower, there is a fan. So, same as at the house, if somebody ate something that didn't sit too well, you just turn the dial, or the knob, opens the vent, and push the button. There's covers that you can get for these as well, so that you don't have to open them and close them all the time. You can actually leave them open, which is nice, especially if you have to load all of your camping gear and it smells like smoke or anything like that. It doesn't get trapped inside the trailer. The trailer still gets fresh air coming through.
You said the hot water of this goes to the gas?
Yeah, so all the hot water, whether it's the shower, the bathroom sink, or the kitchen sink, is all on gas off that
That's
tank.
why
So
you
we need more extra.
Extra gas.
Extra
tank.
You do, but you don't. It depends on how much you're using it, right?
Yeah.
Most people, if they're only going for like Friday, Saturday night camping,
It's
It's
enough?
okay. It's enough.
yeah, because most people, a lot of people won't even shower. It's like, okay, it's 2 days, you know, we'll smell a little bit funny, but as soon as we get home, we can take a shower.
Oh, okay.
But that tank itself will last a fairly long time depending on how much you use it. So if you're keeping the trailer at like 22 degrees, it's gonna burn with the furnace. The more hot water you use, the more it'll use, right? So your first weekend will kind of be a good weekend to judge how much you're gonna use for water, propane, food, all the little odds and ends that you need. The best suggestion I have is a little notebook. So that way when you're out, you're camping,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I forgot this. This would be nice to have while we're here. You can write it down in your book and get it for your next camping trip, right? Because it doesn't matter how much you prepare and how much you plan, you're always going to forget something.
Okay. Thank you.
Everything else operates the same.
Yeah, everything's
Microwave.
the same. So the microwave is the same at the house. Unless you're plugged in, it won't work. Your air conditioning. So when it is hot. So because it's 30 amp service, if you're at a campsite, it has to use that power cord. As far as operation goes, there's 2 little black marks. It's cranked all the way as cold as it'll go right now. But you've got your options. So there's low fan, off, going the wrong way, high fan. So that is, it's just the fan. Then you go over to low cool and high cool, which is going to be the actual air conditioning mode.
Okay.
Because of how this trailer's designed, there is vents on both sides. You can open this one if you want, but really it's just blowing some cold air into the bathroom. This one you basically leave open all the time, and that helps cool the entire trailer.
Should be sufficient.
Oh yeah. These air conditioners are designed for a trailer that size.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you run that thing on the coldest setting and high cool for half the day, you'll have to put on a coat and wrap yourself in a blanket by the time you come into this thing at the end of the day. You'll be able to see your breath.
Is it safe to say the main thing is to make sure you plug in and have all this stuff running then?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not using the actual battery, you're using their